Is Nico Iamaleava struggling as the Tennessee quarterback? That's the question that I have after the loss to Arkansas. Let me throw some things at you very quickly. Nico has played, and Tennessee has played 3 Power 4 opponents: NC State, Oklahoma, and Arkansas. And in those 3 performances that Nico has had to go up against 3 Power 4 opponents, he's completed 62.5% of his passes, so 62.5. He's had 561 passing yards, or 187 yards passing per game. He's had 27 rushes for 97 yards, and 65 of that came against NC State. Look, before I get started in saying this, here's what I believe about Nico Iamaleava. I think he's going to be a very good quarterback. I think that he is obviously a guy that has a lot of really good traits. I can see the potential, and you can see the potential from a mile away. I also know that there was possibly a reason why Joe Milton played last year. And Tennessee fans are going to say, well, he was a senior. Heupel promised it to him. I don't know. I don't know about that. I think Nico's inability to see things this season so far has limited some of the play calling that Josh Heupel has had this season so far for Tennessee. And I do think it's what helped lead you to losing last week against an Arkansas team who, quite honestly, you should have beaten. And yet you kept around the game because you couldn't put them away. How does that affect them as a team right now? Look, Nico is not playing up to the par or the level that I think a lot of us thought that he would play up to, and that's okay. He's a freshman. He's going to get better. We all know that. He will continue to get better every single week, and the game will start slowing down for him every time in every game that he gets a rep. But as of right now, when you look at Nico Iamaleava, he is 62.5% completion percentage against the teams that he had been tested against. He's only throwing for 187 yards a game throwing the football. He's had 27 attempts for 97 yards rushing, but 65 of that came against a really, really bad NC State team. Now, Tennessee fans, I told you this last week in our preview, and I'm going to say it again here. Last week, I had mentioned to you that Arkansas was the team that would give you the toughest test. That game being in Fayetteville, that game being with a quarterback like Taylon Green, that game being against an opponent that's got a top 25 team or top 25 offense in total yards. That if they didn't make mistakes, like what Oklahoma did, you might be in trouble. And I think defensively, Tennessee is really good. But what has gone on at quarterback, ironically, under Nico the last couple of weeks, has been really bad. You know, look, man, I look at last week, he's 16 for 28. There was so much to be desired on some of the throws that he was making. Now, I understand that Nico has been under pressure a lot. He's been under a lot of pressure, needing to escape, needing to run. But I do think that he needs to be the playmaker that he is. If I'm Josh Heupel today, I'm saying, Nico, listen, get through 2 reads, run it, get down. Get us positive yardage. Because, guys, he's not been very effective throwing the football when the opponents, and especially the defensive opponents, have gotten better. Now, we'll break this Tennessee-Florida game down later this week. They're not a great defense. Like, their front seven has kind of been pushed around, and Ron Roberts' front seven has kind of been pushed around a little bit. And that game is at home. You're coming off a loss. But I look at Nico and say, he has struggled at moments and times. It's a great opponent to go against in the secondary, even though their secondary in Florida has gotten much better. Nico is not going to be, when it's all said and done, an average quarterback. But right now, for what it's worth, he has been about subpar to average. He's missed a lot of throws. He had 2 interceptions, and he's had 3 turnovers in the 3 Power 4 games he's played. He had 2 interceptions against NC State, fumble against Oklahoma. And look, man, his inability to find guys and make plays on critical third downs against Arkansas, quite honestly, got you beat. I know that Heupel probably should have continued to give the ball off to Sampson, but I'm looking at, like, I got a still shot of the all-22 copy sitting right here. The second to last play of scrimmage, or of the game, rather, he's got Dylan Sampson wide open in the end zone that if he throws him the football in the flat, he's going to go in and score. He throws it into double coverage over the middle of the field. Again, I want to make this very well known. And if you're in the comments commenting on this saying, look at this dumb son of a gun, I'm going to mention to you this part in the video. I humbly believe that Nico is going to be a very good quarterback and continue to get better. He's going to be that guy. But in the last 3 games that we have seen him play against better opponents each week, from NC State to Oklahoma to Arkansas, things have gotten a little bit worse for him as it's going on. It's going to be interesting to see how Nico and Heupel can respond from that.